But now, yeah, make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Some sort of pain, you caused a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear. You won't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, and I-F-E right in your side. You will never see me coming. You won't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, and I-F-E right in your side. My energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he stabs me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel, I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks, I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you anywhere or any place. You won't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, and I-F-E right in your side. You will never see me coming. You won't die if you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, and I-F-E right in your side. You will never see me coming. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, 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 today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations. I see
you sound like a super business problem. The zero always solves them. It's your third best. I equals sum. He walks the world in leisure. He might give you a seizure. Ask him what it means to change all history. Ask him what it is to have to hide away. Ask what it means to simply rip a verse. Ask him what it is to live under the curse of I equals sum. Yeah, I equals sum. Understand the pain.
Hello?
Leo, where are you? We got a gig to do.
Okay.
Get your ass over here, man.
Alright, I'll be right there.
Cool.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Yo!
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond the illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say,
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
Well, stop, watch down, tell me something going around. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. What's up, what's down? Nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack, daily things. Here we go.
Welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode 19.
Hi. Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
How
How the
are
heck
you?
are
How is everyone?
Oh, I'm on fire.
Of course you are.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Why are you on fire now?
Why does it seem like independent comics just want to tank? Like, why does nobody want to take the brass ring from Marvel and DC? Why are there so many landmines in the industry?
I don't know. But howdy, everybody. Hello,
I have
hello.
to remember to breathe. I am
Breathe.
extremely.
You breathe. I'll greet everybody who has
Yeah,
popped
you
in.
do that, please. Okay.
So we have Rick from Cross Comics. We have Chris Tomlinson. Hello, Chris. We have Timothy out there in the chat. So hey guys, welcome to this crazy night. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
No, you have no clue, do
my
you?
my
All right. So let me clue you in. There's two things driving me crazy, and one of them, I'm actually taking the general advice that my wife would give me in any given situation, and that is I've actually started muting people. So the Soska sisters, remember them? Have you heard of them? They came from the Rippaverse. They were the twin sisters that did the Wacko movies together and had a history of apparent Satan worship or whatnot. And
yeah, all that.
today, one of the girls, she posted something about God being great, and he gives to people, and it was basically a little thing about God, and it wasn't Jesus specific. It wasn't like knock you over and make you think that she's walking on water, but it was very encouraging. And so my statement in general was fantastic. And these guys that support the Rippaverse were acting like it was a gotcha moment. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this. Like, let's just rejoice that they've okay. So this is a statement that they've made that, they're looking to God.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? I'm happy. That's beautiful. That actually confirms something Eric said. And it makes me feel very hopeful for their future, not like it's like a guarantee. Well, it doesn't guarantee, but it tells me at least that Eric's not walking in with like, two women that are witches that have bewitched him with some wicked spell. No, they're real people. They're looking to God. However that looks to them. I know that sounds very new age and Christians don't like it, but you know what? It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
and I was just. They said they were actually born and raised in the church. And to me, that says a lot because, you bring them the word when they're young and they'll come back to it when they're old, It's
only God knows their heart.
It's about these churches just going off. So I started muting all the Rippaverse turds now because I'm like, I don't care. I don't. And, they confuse me with other people because like one guy's like, I see you on these threads constantly. Well, I know he doesn't because I've intentionally avoided a whole bunch of them. I'm like, no, it's just, what's this? Why get in a circular argument?
Right.
So
exactly.
Like, if I'm not making progress and they're not making progress, then I might as well just at least temporarily.
That's true. That's true.
But then there's the other thing going on that's really got me kind of irked. And it was inevitable that eventually we'd bump past with the Wheelers. For those who don't know, the Wheelers make a book called Boobs. and it's every bit as virtuous as you might imagine.
Mhm.
And so, like last week, Mike was asked in a chat apparently um, who he thought would be the next pedophile outed from Comicsgate.
Mike who?
Mike Wheeler.
Oh,
So,
okay. I don't know them at all.
He sat there, he giggled, he laughed, and he said, I'd bet it would, if I had to put money on it, I'd bet it would be Wiggle. Well, Wiggle took exception to this. And you guys know the story. Diana doesn't, though. So
No.
Wiggle started a stream where he basically was going to retaliate, and he was talking about it, and he ended up calling Mike's book a degenerate book. And it was funny to me, and you might remember this because Wiggle was the one who hated Cluster Fudge, thought it was completely degenerate and was offended by it. It's that guy.
Yeah.
So long story short, they went through the whole thing and back and forth with insults. And Wiggle and the I think it was the CG Slums was the stream it was on. They were kind of harsh with her. They kept bumping her on and off and saying really crude things to her. But at that point, that's the slums. You're in CG Slums. They're going to roast you till you can't, be roasted anymore. But today, like, they were kind of nipping and barking at people. And I was one of those people who got in that little wave there.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand what it is about indie comics that gets some of the worst kinds of like attitudes and personalities and opinions, and like, where have all the good times gone? To quote Van Halen, where have all the good times gone?
I don't know, but it reminds me of high school days. It's like
It
a
really
comic.
does. It's like a whole bunch
It's
of
like
people that haven't grown
comic
up.
creators in high school. Like, this is what they would have behaved like. Everybody's got a thing. Everybody's just. People are so offended so easily nowadays.
Well, you know what though? There's a good reason to be offended about some stuff, and this is where I'm at. Okay. I am offended that our industry lost hold of the child market. I am offended that we gave that up to Japan. I am offended that we have an industry that's so locked into trying to sell books to those who buy it that there's no room for the kids to have real books made for them. We have scholastics and we have manga. And if you pick up a Marvel or you pick up a DC book,
right,
there's so much crap in it the kid's got to get through just to get the hero stuff. And if you pick up an independent book, there's a damn good chance that that kid shouldn't have that book in his hands because the independents are just like, it's a Russian roulette. What are you going to get? So I don't know.
Back in the day,
I'm feeling like on fire tonight.
Back in the day, when you read the comics, and comics were primarily suitable for young children, or children, not young children. Is that what infuriates you like so much? Like, because they don't have as much of, they do have it. They have graphic novels, which is different. It's not a comic book. I get it.
They have a ton of stuff for adults, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just really getting on my nerves that, like, when you look at kids stuff, it's either super kiddie, like I'm talking Dogman kiddie.
Right.
If you guys don't know what Dogman looks like, I'll actually pull it up just for the sake of the stream.
Okay.
Hang on. But like, there is no more real Marvel DC rivalry that is churning out fantastic books that are made by the best talents,
Right.
Like, I feel like the best talents have gone to Hollywood now. They're all doing storyboards because Marvel and DC have just gotten what Marvel and DC are.
Right.
Hang on, I'm going to show you Dogman, right? Okay. So
he's on a mission.
Dogman, he's absolutely huge. He sells a ton of books. I mean, in the millions.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, this is not comics like we would think of comics.
Okay.
And the problem with this is not that it's not a comic book. It's that it's not leading the kids into the next phase of Western comics. And, it's kind of open-ended, and they end up getting into manga for the most part.
Right. Right.
And I'm not begrudging manga. I'm not saying, oh, bad manga. I'm saying, oh, bad Western comic industry. How did we let this go? You know, we're going from selling millions of books in schools and then turning around and we're down to like, if you get 10,000 books sold, you're a pretty big deal. How'd that happen? And how do we fix it? You know,
I'm trying to type and listen to you at the same time because I didn't want to interrupt your.
So
thing.
Tim is hitting on a point there, and he's right. The thing about it is they were gritty, bless you, in a way that still adhered to the somewhat relaxed code. And without that there's nothing to keep the books eligible or in that zone for like the safe all ages type zone. And the only ones that are doing it don't really get recognized for it. They get lost in the stream. And I am speaking a little bit out of experience, but not particularly. I think there are other books that have been hit harder because Cyclopian is so unique that it's a different beast anyways. Diana has gone mute. I don't know if she fell off her chair. Oh, there she is.
No, I had a coughing fit.
I could hear you. I was like, I don't know if she's fallen out of her
I
chair.
don't want to be on camera as I'm, honking my nose and sneezing. It's kind of like not cool. And I didn't want to interrupt you, Flo.
My flow. I'm just venting at this point.
I'm reading the chat. I'm reading what Tim is saying when I said back in the day, and he's like, "Whose day?" I'm like, "Well, I'm thinking Chris because that would be the only person that I really know."
So okay, wait a minute. So I actually let's bring Tim on.
Yes, let's bring Tim on because Tim is doing some conversation here, and I don't know what he's talking
about. What I'm talking about is it's troubling to me that like parents can't just walk out and buy a book and know like it's safe. They never know what they're going to get. It's particularly like if you go into a convention, they've got to do some quick examining and some quick gauging unless, and this happens a lot too. So in all fairness, a lot of books are clearly marked mature.
Can I add something to that convention buying book stuff?
Yeah.
I worked at a place a while ago, and my supervisor, my boss, had gone to a Comic-Con and bought a book. We work with children. She's a BCBA, and we work with many children on the spectrum. And like a lot of the kiddos really enjoy comics, so she came back, and they were free books that you could pick up. So she says, "Here, why don't you read through it and let me know what you think. We can maybe use it for one of our groups." And I started reading through it, like about the third or fourth page in. There was like naked girls. It was it was a free adult ash can for adults, but the cover looked like it was targeted towards kids. And I brought it home to Chris. She's like, "Oh my gosh, we got to get that out of here. We can't have that." So I brought it home to Chris, and it was like he was just flabbergasted. "Oh, I see what's happening. Oh, Tim, hold on a second. Let me add you."
Hello.
Like Tim's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hi. I didn't realize you weren't in." Oh,
that's quite a collection of books there you got, Chris. A whole freaking stack.
She just mentioned that, and I was thinking, I know I just saw those. I just had those last night. I was going to show you guys what they were, but
so I just he to the point that he was making is that oftentimes parents are at Comic-Cons and they don't really know there's a ton of indie artists, and so there's free stuff. I'm a parent. I love free stuff for my kids.
Right? Who doesn't like free swag?
I'm thankful though that she did not. Her daughter ended up not reading it after all, and she never opened it up, but she just kind of brought it into the center that we
because so many people don't read the comics. This is what's troubling me. They're not reading the comics. They're assuming comics are still the comics that they remember from their childhood, which meant
because they're not paying attention.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's their fault.
Right.
No, but I have this like thing about comics because I still think of them that way, even though every day I'm facing, comics.
Well, I mean, again, this is it's like point in time. Like my introduction, the comic books was like, Wolverine and X-Force and whatnot, and those were, even though they're under the code, were still kind of gritty. And then, of course, you had Image comic books that had a big impact. And I was like, what, 12, 13? right? I was still a kid, but not,
Well, by the time Image came in, wasn't the code just about dead anyways?
pretty much, but not
I think
on
they
Marvel,
killed
DC were
everybody.
using it for another decade. But yeah, you had like Supreme, which was kind of like an edgier Superman. I mean, there is issue 2 where he went to visit basically his version of Lex Luthor, which is Grislock, and he was in jail, and he had done some horrible things to the Junior Supreme Squad, and it was like some pretty dark stuff. And I remember as a kid going, "Oh, that's a bad guy right there." That's a or like
It's just there's no professional attempt to like revive what we used to have, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe what we used to have didn't work, but
Yeah.
it did work, and
Well-
it's really driving me crazy.
yeah.
Like I think I have to stay off of Twitter because every time I see it, I just go, "What
You're
the
so
f?"
funny.
It just drives me up a wall. Like,
Right.
why am I sitting there arguing with the Wheelers? I'm like, you guys are in a completely different genre. She calls
I
it
don't
cheesecake.
know.
I call it soft porn. Call it whatever you want, but it's adult-based comic books. And I'm
And you're
like,
not going to change it. You're not.
no, but I
because-
mean, why am I in that same genre? Like, we end up in the same circle because we're both making comic books. I'm like, but this is not where I want to be. I don't want to be surrounded by like,
Well,
you know
don't.
what I mean? It's like, oh my God. It's like,
Well,
what? And you guys know you've had arguments with
Mhm.
them. They don't argue fair.
No. Oh, I mean, but
I haven't had arguments with them.
if I may approach the bench, Your Honor.
Yes, you may,
No.
Timothy. I am the judge. Tim, you may speak now.
Yes. So you do notice a pattern in their behavior, right? They go in and purposely start something, and then they turn around and go, "Oh, we're being picked on because we're conservative creators." They do that. They do that all the time, and it's like it's a pattern. We all know what you're doing.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what I stumbled into this morning. And I was just like, oh God, man, I've seen the Wheelers do this. I've read about the Wheelers doing this. People have told me the Wheelers do this. And there they were trying to make this big deal out of Wiggle calling their book degenerate. And Vicky said something like schemes and scams. And they were like, oh, you're slandering us. And I'm like, oh dear God, what? And every time I tried to say something, it was just completely twisted. And I'm like, why am I even trying? Like I literally remember looking at one point in the afternoon up to the sky and saying, Jesus, just take my cell phone away.
Well,
Take the wheels, Jesus.
There's the thing that, when Mike was asked that question, Mike Wheeler, he should have just said, I refuse to answer that because no matter who I answer, they're going to take exception to it. And I wouldn't blame anybody taking exception.
Well, yeah, it's a dumb question to take even as a talk show host, even if he wasn't into comics. Hey, who do you think the next pedo from the Republican Party is going to? I don't know. I hope no one. I hope all pedos are dead. I hope
Who I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Mike Wheeler.
I see. I would never say that, Tim. I would never say that.
It's a joke. It's a
wouldn't.
joke. It's a joke. It's a
I don't.
joke.
So, but they would take that and run with
You
it.
don't even want to joke about somebody like that.
Only because, but especially not them, because they would take it and you'd be all over Twitter.
Great. Time to run with that one.
Well, it would be ironic because it would be the same thing that he's claiming, oh, it was all unjust and you take the internet
Exactly.
seriously and
Possibly
Well,
good stuff. I'm not sure.
And what I'm going to say is, if it was the other way around, they would throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what they're doing because he said a guy, the guy took exception to it, which you knew had to be coming. You have to be dumb not to realize that would come.
But Wiggle's not one to like just roll over and play dead. I was like, wow, they said what? Like, and Wiggle doesn't necessarily like me because of Clusterfudge, but I respected Wiggle because he went, I don't like this book. This book is not the hero book I expected. And I was like, well, thank you for your honest. Like, that was an honest opinion, and I really enjoyed it. So when he says, Boobs is a degenerate book, even though I've never read it, I kind of lean on, yeah, it's going to be a degenerate book. And then when I actually looked into it, I was like, boy, yeah, this would upset me if I ordered this book and this is what it was.
Well, you know, the
But
funny
I
thing,
think if you order it, you know what it is, right?
yeah, the point is,
Yeah.
I mentioned that they're still they've been butthurt about EVS for like 6 years, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when are you guys gonna like move on and get the hell over it? You know, no one cares that you guys
But
had
the thing
trouble
is,
with
you know, somebody.
EVS way back in 2018.
Well, EVS is
I
a
was
whole
gonna
nother
say,
thing.
you
Like,
know,
go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, and with them somebody taking exception, you know they're gonna say something. They're gonna say something you don't like. So it's like, why are you dumb enough to answer the question?
So the thing with EVS is it's nothing new. It's a pattern. I should be really upset with EVS because I thought he was like going one way and now he's the other way. Whatever. It's kind of par for the course, right? I mean, if you want to stretch the imagination a little, the new Riley Mint Farm or whatever her name is this is very similar to War Campaign back in their day, and it's outrageous, it's shocking, and it's gonna sell probably $1 million in books by the time he's done. And okay, whatever, that's his machine. That's not my machine. And I've already butted heads with him. I'm like, it doesn't do any good. So you just kind of got to watch EBS like a big wave, you know? He comes in on the shore. He's got some moments where he's beautiful. And then when he hits the shore, it's like, and he wipes out a bunch of, you know, umbrellas and towels and stuff and goes back out to sea and regroups and he'll do it again.
Yeah.
And actually, I agree with Diana's comment, second to last comment. And it shouldn't be just your mission; it should be all of our missions, which I believe is to sell comic books.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
But
they can
also
sell comic books.
they all use the same. They all use the same excuse, which is, oh well, you know, it gets, you know, drama brings in views.
Yeah, that's all it brings in. Doesn't necessarily bring in sales. Has this brought the Wheelers any sales? I doubt it.
Well, you know what
the
ratio. The thing is, if you get like, there's a ratio, and if you can get 2x amount of views, you'll get enough sales to make your comic at least moderately successful. Because it's like, I don't know the numbers, but for every 100 people, there's so many people that'll buy a book, and if you can get that number, you know, you got 50,000 subs. Well, now you're selling 500 books a shot. You know, that's suddenly you're making good money, even though it's not, you know, Eric July money.
Great money. Yeah.
But how I'm going to say something, but how cool would it be if we were able to be such fabulous, you know, entertainers, for a lack of a better word, that people would just come in because the book is amazing. They like the content that we're, you know, discussing.
Well, hopefully I can elevate to that point, but I'm struggling right now.
Right.
And I'm trying to make that part of the experience, because people need to understand that as an autistic person, I do respond to stuff pretty emotionally sometimes. And it's not like a violent thing. It can be very emotional. Diana's witnessed me have arguments with people over email for, you know, 24 hours straight. Remember that one, Diana?
Yeah.
It's
really hard for him to. It's really hard for him to step back. Once he engages and that little ball gets rolling, there's nothing I can do. I'm just like, all right, dude, you do you.
Well,
and
then
I'm
the
gonna
hero
prove it
instincts
here.
kick in. Okay, so like, let's say I get into an argument with someone who's a degenerate, right? And I don't want to be judgmental, but I know this person is doing bad things. It's almost like I can't lay down and let it go by. I have to be like, I have to be Batman. I have to be Spider-Man. I have to stand up and say, enough of this darkness, my neighborhood.
Somebody once called Chris an apologist, which is a defender of God's word. He's an apologist, right? In one of our churches that we went to, because he challenged every pastor that ever crossed his path. Like, he literally, on our tithing envelopes, he would write things about what was said in
You
the
applied
actual
1 John
sermon.
3:2
Yes,
inappropriately.
and it was wrong. So they all knew, every church we went to, they all knew it was Chris. And he would hem and haw, and it's like, holy moly. And I would just sit there and like, oh, pray a lot. I pray a lot. I do. I pray. I pray all the time because I don't know how else to help them. So I'm just giving you an example that that's just like almost like a natural instinct for him. If he's very, if he
I
sees
know it won't
something
make sense
wrong,
to you guys, right?
he
But if I
takes
see something wrong, I do feel like it's my responsibility to get the cape, get the damn utility belt, and get your ass out there and fight for the cause of righteousness. Like,
Yeah,
I
there
can't
you go.
help it. Like, if you've been watching X at all, Matt Barr has been in like so many arguments, and he's kind of a jerk. But I agree with him. He's like, I'm not siding with pedophiles and rapists. I'm like, you know what, Matt? I totally agree with you. I wish you'd take a
I
chill
think
pill.
he's hilarious.
I wish he'd chill out a little bit though, because people aren't getting it. But he is right. He is like, why are you guys siding with these like OnlyFans weirdos when you have comic books? You know, like it's very frustrating. I wish I had a better relationship with him because I think he's got a lot of potential.
Well, I pointed this out about the Wheelers. They sell themselves as conservative comic book creators, yet they're on Kickstarter, Kickstarter takes a chunk of their money and donates it to things like Black Lives Matter and other left wing movements. And I'm like, so you call yourself a conservative creator, but you're literally funding Black Lives Matter.
Well, I'm not even sure what that means because, all right, I'm going to say something and this will expose
Look it up.
my understanding. To me, most conservatives are also Christian to some point.
Yeah.
So it's a conflict in my head, and I'm sure it's a me problem, not a they problem, because I'm sure there are plenty of perverted conservatives. But like when I think conservative, I think Christian, and I'm like, your book is called Boobs. I know what's inside it. It's not about like television boob tubes. It's not, you know what I mean?
I think their claim is they're being shocking on purpose, which that's fine, but don't sell
they can call it whatever they want. But the fact that like there's only so far you go with certain things, and like I'm sorry, I won't judge them. I'm trying not to, but their work says some stuff to me.
Well, it says to me they're still butthurt about 2018. That's what the whole Ethan Gaylord Van Slobberknocker is a knock on EVS, and it's like, okay, you guys are still butthurt about 2018. Good for you.
Well, I just see TNA as such a, to me, it's a sellout. It's like when you see it's just, I don't know. And we all know boob TNA sells, but like when it's so blatantly like, just like, brother, I don't know. I struggle with it. I wish the good Lord could give me some peace on it, because I look at it and I'm like, get that off my comic book shelf.
I caught him. Was it like twice maybe, just taking full credit for the book? Oh, actually, maybe 3 times. No, for boobs, he'll come on and he'll say something like,
yes.
I just put a book on a Kickstarter. I made all this money. And one time I just told him, don't you mean we, because your wife drew the book? Why don't you give her some credit?
Yeah. Well, that's
how much
that's a unique relationship for what she and what they do online. They've got to have some sort of thing. I'm happy for them. They must have a good marriage.
But my point is, how much of a doormat are you to like let somebody take full credit for the book that you're most successful for?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I know it depends on whether he's the quote unquote head of their company. You know, like as the head of the as the head of Cross Comics, I take credit in a sense for putting the books out there as well. I say I put out there, I don't say we, because I'm Cross Comics. Cross Comics is putting it out there. Yes, I'm hiring people to do it, some stuff.
You know what's funny?
Just sort of like you, Tim, too.
You know what's really funny? I do everything in our book but the editing, and I always say we. I always include Diana because I feel like when people find out that I do it all, I try to keep it humble because when they find that out, like sometimes they think it's like a humble brag, like, yes, I make my own comics for the old fashioned way. I earn it, whatever. But I'm like, I don't want it to come off that way. So, I let Diana spill the beans when the time is right, and I don't want to like bask in that because really I have to get better at all facets before I can
Yes.
start bragging.
What I've said, Rick, is that I mean, I've also said my team and I, and when I mean my team, it's mean anybody who's worked on the book.
Right.
And when somebody says, "Hey, your artwork is fantastic," and if it's like Sid's, I'll say, "Well, I'll let Sid know that."
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's Rob's, I go, "Oh, I'll tell Rob that you like this."
Well, that's the right thing to do, isn't it?
I'm not going to take
give
credit for
where
something.
credit's
Yeah,
due.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's my character, and they're drawing exactly what I want them to draw, but their
Right.
talent went into it too.
Right.
They
And
contributed.
the thing is, it's your book too. Technically, yeah, you've hired somebody to do it, but
Yes, but I'm also going to give people
and
credit.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know their personal situation and how they're functioning in doing stuff. I know she's doing the art. That's about it. I'm not sure whether he's doing the writing or she's doing.
I do believe he was taking credit for writing. So I mean, I'm sure it's a collaboration of some sort.
Yes, but he said I put up the
they're
book.
married and living together.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Tim.
Sorry.
No.
But he said I put up the book and I made the money. It's like, well, your ideas are stupid, and let's give credit. The real star is your wife, even though
But
she's kind
do
of
you think
probably
maybe,
agree.
do you think
Probably.
maybe that his wife doesn't mind that she just draws, but she doesn't really want the credit? There is that side of it. We don't know what we're seeing. I mean,
Well, I
there
have
are
to believe
people
there's an understanding there because if there wasn't, as an artist, I believe she would be upset. But she's obviously not. So they must be okay with it. But it does sound weird. I know what Tim's talking about. It's almost like
I get
it's like
what
if I
I
serve
get what
you a
he's saying.
Big Mac and I say, "Aren't I a great cook?"
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
I
McDonald's.
get what Tim's saying, and I'm just trying to think of it from a different point of view. With him saying it, what he could mean.
I'll be right back, guys.
And yeah, good stuff. I try not to have drama on my channel as well.
Well, I like what he's saying here, and this is how I know I'm not a prude. I enjoy that stuff, and like, I don't want to see the world turn into like freaking Mary Poppins or something. But I wish we could get that pocket back. Like, even if it wasn't as significant, I wish there was some desire at Marvel and DC to put out like the classic line of the Marvel heroes, that the kids could run into.
Technically, they're doing that because the crap that the modern crap isn't making money. They make more money on putting out trades from old stuff, and they put that.
Yeah,
but
you know who's buying all that stuff?
Old dude.
People like
I'm
us.
sure there are some kids buying it, but the majority are just they all look like me and you, Rick. And Tim. They look a little bit like Tim too, but like we're all white. We all have this hair. Except for Tim. Tim doesn't have. Tim, do you have hair? I always see him with a hat. I don't know if he has hair or not.
Yeah, he has hair. Just
he has hair. There you go.
Actually,
I knew he had hair. I was just messing with him. But like they all look like us, and I'm like, the kids that I see are all manga based, and they'll come by and say hi. A few of them do buy a book or two, because they're like, "Oh, I feel bad for the old guy." But like, I understand, and I'm like, okay, how do we tap back into that? And we're not going to tap back into like the teen market without getting some really great stuff.
You were saying, why hasn't anybody taken the brass ring from Marvel or DC?
Yeah.
You know how long Marvel and DC have been around?
They've been around since, well, it depends who we're talking about and what, how we're talking about. Like Timely was around what, in the 40s? Yes. But Marvel was around what, since the 60s? DC since
actually, technically
since
the 40s, the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, if you go back to like Timely and the other, the beginning roots,
Finally,
yeah.
technically, I think started in 39. DC started in like 38. Maybe
Yeah, it's back there. It's
37.
definitely back there.
Well, my point is they have a legacy. It's like Rome. You know how long it took for Rome to completely go away?
A day.
No, like a
No,
well, it was a
Rome
lot.
was destroyed in a day, but it wasn't built in a day.
Not really. That's not what happened.
I keep joking. And hello, Eric.
But you get what I'm saying.
Hi, Eric. So yeah,
Yeah.
Timely was 39.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up the dates.
Well, you might want to put National Comics.
Yeah, that's right.
Although, actually, Detective Comics you might be able to get away with because it had
37.
27. Yeah.
37 was the first Detective comic.
My point being, it's been like ancient Rome. It's going to take a long time for Marvel or DC to kind of sink to the point where they just disappear.
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing that to some extent now with Marvel was sold to Disney, and I don't know what Warner Brothers will really do with it. So if they really start licensing, like Marvel already uses IDW, don't they, for some books? But if they
I have no idea.
Well, DC's been owned by Warner for years.
Right, but if they stop producing books and start licensing it, that's when you know they're about to fade out into obscurity.
Right.
But I think we're still 5 years, 10 years out from that.
That's why I say. That's why I said. I think I said it on. I caught the tail end of. Unfortunately, if I had known how weird Liam was, I caught the tail end when he was going on about how hard he works to make books, and my comment was just let it burn.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care about our opinion. They don't care to fix anything. We're idiots, and they know better. So just let them destroy Marvel and these legacy characters.
Well,
Yeah,
eventually
maybe we can
something has to rise and take it. Something has to rise above it.
Can you imagine one of us getting Spider-Man?
I'd want like the Punisher or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm okay with just creating a new character. Like if Marvel, so if Marvel was hiring and said, "Hey, I know this seems strange, but we really dig the Great Cyclopian. Will you come write Peter Parker for a year?" Yes, I would run at the chance. I would draw it too if they'd let me.
But see, I'm not talking about them asking you to come do that. I'm saying, hey, Chris, you want to buy Spider-Man to put in your universe?
Yeah, but I would sell him immediately. I wouldn't even mess with him. I'd be like, yeah, I'll buy him. How much? And then I'd be like, all right, Paramount, Universal. This is not my guy.
That's licensing. You're talking about licensing the product at that point. I'm talking about.
Oh no, I'll offer him up for sale. I think Spidey's worth a cool $1 billion. Let's go. Cyclopian will be around for the rest of my life if I can sell off Spider-Man for $1 billion.
Well, I mean, seriously, I'd probably just want to do my characters, but
Yep, exactly. That's why I would sell him off. I'd be like, he's really cool. Yeah. I think that Marvel needs to be in the right hands. I'd sell him to Eric July.
Like I said, I just let Marvel and DC kind of like slowly disintegrate into nothing, which would probably
but that's what I'm talking about. They disintegrate into nothing, and then their characters are possibly up for sale, and you can get Spider-Man for a good price.
So are you talking like Charleston type destruction, like Blue Beetles on the auction block type destruction, like? Someday you're sitting there and they're trying to sell off the rights for Wonder Man because their whole catalog has been dwindled down and they're selling off every last one of them. And
I think that's what Tim's talking about, and I'm going.
I would buy a lot of the Guardians and add them to the Melvin universe.
Yeah, there are some cool characters. and the thing is with Marvel and DC, they both had this because they went monthly for so long, for so many years. One of the easiest things to do in comics is to write a new character. Like you were getting a villain a month on like on some titles. Some titles the villains would stretch out longer, but you get all these characters created, and it would sandwich, and eventually you'd get great ones. Like for every great villain, there's probably a dozen. B-rate
You
Jokers
remember?
appeared.
You remember Wizard and they had the Mort of the Month? They would always take a really bad character and they'd rate how many morts he got.
I actually have Wizard magazines here. I could look it up.
Yeah, look,
But
it's
you don't read that.
it's the same section as the price guide would be at the bottom somewhere.
Let's see.
Like they rated, like, was a guy called Turtle Man.
Turtle
Such
Man.
Such a stupid name for a character.
All right.
I think he was like a Flash villain or something.
I pulled out Wizard 35 on a whim.
Is that a Stephen Platt cover?
Looks like it, doesn't it? I believe it is.
Oh yeah, Prophet. It's Stephen Platt. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It's nice to have these around. So I'm looking at the price guide.
Somewhere in the bottom somewhere. You have to
What am I looking for exactly?
It was called Mort of the Month.
War Machine. There's all sorts of little things down here in the footnotes, huh?
Yeah.
But I don't see War of the Month. Hang on, what's this?
Mort, M-O-R-T, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing more either. Hang on.
Oh, they might not.
They're showing like highlighted stuff from comics in their thing.
Eric says Ice Cream was the best Mort.
Ice Cream. God, that's a dumb name. Oh, those are good. That was my favorite part of Wizard magazine was the writing of the really bad characters.
This must make for compelling streaming. Watch as I go through my Wizard books from years gone by. All right, hang on.
Well, my point was, like, as these legacy characters are slowly kind of like dying, work on your books and kind of work on expanding the reach of where you can get your books into. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can get it there. It's necessary.
Yeah, that I agree. But like if you suddenly were able to introduce Spider-Man into your universe, or Superman, or whatever character that's popular that you might want to get, it could get you a boost in quote unquote sales, or a boost in popularity, or however you want to say it. Just notoriety, I guess.
This stuff is just incredible. These magazines, we don't have anything like this today, man. Not like this. This is just sweet. Like every page is just comic book madness. Every single page.
Eric said he could change his body into any flavor of ice cream. He infiltrated the X-Men and scary. Although he was purposely created to be a joke.
Well, most of those kind of characters, there's a joke behind them at least, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite nobody villains was Stiltman, who fought Daredevil, and he was just so ridiculous that he was awesome,
Yeah, but he became a fairly recognizable villain, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because people took heart and had fun with him, but like hey, I'm on high stilts. Ooh, oh yeah, you're awesome, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, the thing is, I think that would be easy to fight him. Most people didn't realize it. Forget going up top; just go at the bottom, hit the legs up from under him, he falls.
Yeah,
I found a pretty good Mort of the Month here on Google. It was Mary, the girl of 1,000 gimmicks.
I've heard of her.
What a stupid looking character.
All right, now you got me Googling it. Mary Girl of 1,000 Gimmicks, right?
Yeah, hold on, let me share screen. Huh?
Yeah, because I didn't find the Wizard. I found the actual DC fandom page on her.
Oh God, who thought this was a good idea for a character?
Well, it's funny because when you create monthly, it really will like force you to squeeze some stuff out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's been all sorts of hits that were, yep, that's her. So she would be a 7 on the meter.
Yep. That's pretty high.
55. I wonder if I have that issue.
Born to
Arm fall off boy. Let that one sink in. Laugh out loud. Yeah, and he actually was in, I think, one of the more recent Legion of Superhero cartoons.
I think Marvel
these
needs to dig through their vaults and find all the bad characters and have them killed off by Marvel zombies.
Well, if I have it, I don't have it here. I have like all the 30s here. Maybe that was before they did more in the month.
Yeah. Wizard Magazine is actually the magazine that actually introduced us to a 0 issue or a half issue.
Yeah, like they'd include it as a bonus or something.
Yep. And then Image had like a contest. Or you had to collect these certain books to get like these coupons to get like 0 issues for like Savage Dragon and Wildcats. And another point I wanted to make about they're talking about like how there's no books for kids, and this is why I was like, what are you talking about? There was an issue of Young Blood where Chapel found out he got AIDS, and he went back to where Spawn lived because he wanted to have what Spawn had, and so right in front of Al Simmons' Spawn, he committed suicide, and it was a double-page spread of him blowing his brains out. I mean, see, that's as a kid, that's what I was reading. So,
well, how old were you when you went through that one?
Oh, early Image. I was probably like almost in middle school.
So 12 years old?
12, 13, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's possible that like 7-year-olds are watching rated R and they wouldn't get into, younger books. It's just, I don't know what we're going to do I don't know how to get back to the kids. I don't see what's currently out there as being able to do it. Maybe I'm not seeing enough of it. Maybe I'm just underexposed.
You gotta write stuff it's about getting stuff that they're interested in and then getting it in their faces where they can see it, and hopefully they have the money to buy. But with that, I actually have to go because I'm helping Mike out tonight. So
have fun, bro.
I will catch you guys later.
All right, peace out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Hi, everybody.
Whoa. I thought you died or something.
No. I had a couple things I had to do.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Well, I was listening. It sounded like really good stuff.
It was compelling.
Comic-y kind of stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm calmed down a little bit.
I'm glad. You usually are. So I was looking at the campaign. Do you know we have 20 backers?
I do. Yes.
We're
very blessed.
Excited. Did Rick left? I heard him saying he was headed out to Mike's show.
Yeah, he had to head out.
Okay.
Hang on. That's not what I want to share. That wasn't it. I want to share.
Well, I think also the Violator miniseries was pretty brutal. If you know who the Violator is.
I think I do, but it's drawing a blank.
Well, that was like one of Spawn's villains.
Oh yes, that's why. All right,
yeah.
But he was more like a demon.
Yeah, he was a demon, but they had a miniseries drawn by Bart Sayers. At least the first issue was, and yeah, he had like 3 brothers. He was part of the Phobaic brothers. But in order to see kind of like where he was, they'd take somebody out of this little cage they had him in, and like rip him open so they could kind of look into the blood to find to spy on him.
Nasty.
Or they had like the Violator was fighting these mobsters in the beginning of the book, and they find where one of the guys that was chasing him, right? And like, well, where is he? All of a sudden, like Violator's fist punches right through his mouth and rips off his head. You know?
Yeah, those weren't approved by the Comics Code Authority, were they?
No, they were not. They didn't have any Comic Codes Authority on.
Yeah.
So for the whole issue, like the Violator had this head around his wrist, and the eyes would still move. And he was being chased by.
That's an interesting accessory.
Yeah, he was being chased by this vigilante who literally jumped over him, fired this like rocket propelled like arrow, and blew up a whole group of people, missing him completely. Yeah,
These all sound like pre-boys fun stuff. Like the boys seems to be rooted in all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that book. I don't know.
I've never seen the book. I've only seen the TV shows,
Yeah.
and each season has gotten worse and worse. I'm like, oh my gosh! Like I didn't even make it through season 3.
There was it Omni Man or something, or
no Homelander.
Invincible. That book. That's a pretty brutal book.
And then so is the cartoon. I understand they've compressed a lot of it, but like, yeah, Omni-Man is boy, he's different. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen it, but he is a Superman archetype.
Yeah, he's kind of a douche.
Yeah, actually, though, I wonder if that wouldn't be what Superman would really be like.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, yeah, that much power. You know, who knows? So, who is Daniel
Newman?
I don't know who that is. Do you?
Newman.
Okay, hang on. Let's let him in. How are you, Daniel?
Hi, Newman.
Welcome.
There you are. How are you doing?
Hello. How are we all doing today?
Hi.
Maybe he can't hear us.
I was lagging.
I hear him.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
I hear you.
What do we do? What are we doing? Like? What are you rascals doing, huh?
We are talking about comic books.
You guys sound pretty guilty. I come up in here and you guys sound pretty guilty. Christopher Tamu. You wanna?
No.
You wanna tell me how I pronounce your last name, Christopher?
You got to say it right, brother.
Yeah, that's what I thought, mister. Yeah.
I'm guilty of a good time. So are you into comics? No, he left.
I couldn't see his mouth moving. That was the weirdest thing. All I seen was this young dude with headphones.
I think that's because I didn't let him on the main screen. I just covered it with a screen share.
Uh-huh.
Because usually that's when they flash like something nasty.
What was that? What was that about?
I think it was
I don't know, Christopher Tamu. You're pretty guilty.
Yeah, I look guilty, man. Guilty of a good time. Let's rock and roll and share a comic book. In fact, sir, if you're still there, you can go to HeroShack.com and read issues 1 through 6 of the Great Cyclopian. Absolutely free, no sign up, no gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think Tim might have been around for this, but we had one gentleman come on one time and actually shut down Diana and I's ability to do anything, and they started showing a porn on our stream.
Really bad.
So ever since then, I take precautions if we have someone come on that we don't recognize, cover up the screen, let them on, but that way they can only throw some audio stuff at you, and if it gets nasty there, you just turn them off. But yeah, we don't allow flashers anymore. We have learned our lessons. Oh, Diana's away from the mic. I'm like, why isn't she talking?
I am away from the mic for a moment. I told you I had a bunch of stuff tonight to do, but I'm here and I'm listening. I'm going to sit back in 2 minutes.
Well, actually, we've been on for over an hour now, or about an hour. Yeah,
that kind of derailed the whole conversation, didn't it?
Didn't it? Yeah. But no, you know what's derailing me? Why my co-host there is like not even really on the show.
I am on the show. I am here. And you said it would be fine.
I didn't say this would be fine.
There. I'm back. Your
Are you
co-host is here, and you have Timothy. Come on now, you're not alone.
Timothy isn't under contractual obligation.
Oh my
Timothy
gosh!
can go, you know what, Chris? This stream is boring me. I'm gonna go now.
I gotta have my usual hangout places.
Yes, I know you do.
Yeah.
We were on
Devil Flyer.
Rex's stream last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was fun.
Yeah, they quite liked having you on there.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun, and they were very nice people, and the conversation was good. So yeah, I was like, oh, this was a good stream. But I'm trying to work on a couple of different projects, not writing, but other stuff in the house like laundry. So I keep scooting away and running to flip the laundry, fold it, and then come back and sit down. And so
this is more important than the laundry. Forget about the laundry.
It is, but like I explained to Chris, I like to do laundry each week. I don't like to let it. I know people, guys, who have like loads and loads of laundry because they only do it like maybe once a month or so. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I can't. I would have like major anxiety attacks if that was me. And there is little Miss Bell Bottoms. Hi, Belle.
Hang on, she's getting up the purr.
I know.
You should hear it soon.
That's one of our kitties.
There you go.
She is, let's see, they were born the end of August. So let's say September, October, November, December, January, February. She's 6 months old now, 6 or 7 months old. Her brothers, Captain Hook and Braveheart, have been neutered. And last Thursday, and they're doing really well. You'd never even know it. They're all healed.
They never even had a day down. Diana said they were a little slow the first day. I never saw it. These guys are still jumping around like they're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, great. And now Belle knows where I am. So she will be interrupting our presence here. See, yeah, she's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see
She's
if I
very
can.
cute. They've eaten a lot of his wires and whatnot.
All of my wires, all my USB-Cs for my phone and for my iPad, all gone.
Yeah.
Except for the 2 that I've managed to save for charging, but I had a whole bunch.
Oh my gosh.
I guess you can hear if they're in your office. You hear, meow.
Yeah.
No, I never got that, but they've knocked over almost everything at least once.
Yeah.
They've gotten on the door jamb. They've gotten on the television that's hanging. File cabinet, t-shirt press, you name it. They've been on all of it.
Yeah. Crazy little kitties.
Well, what hurts Braveheart is literally like not afraid of anything. So the other 2, they would normally not do some of this crap, but they see Brave doing it. So they go, well, I guess we can do it too. So you get 3 cats trying to do parkour down your hallway on the walls. And they dive at each other and they meet in the air and do like kung fu flips on each other and stuff. And then the dogs get involved and it gets even crazier because Tiny's as small as they are and Chewy's like 4 times their size. And all 5 of them start running around like idiots. And it's a circus. Like right now, if I let her go, she's going to sit on the keyboard and do something terrible to the chat. And like in the morning when I get up and I'm drawing on my iPad, I have a magic keyboard stand. Like they'll get up and try to sit on that keyboard too. They'll sit on my arms. They're just crazy. Now she'll actually stay up on the back of that chair for a little bit probably, but we shall see. She's
oh man, she's about to jump off. And she does.
Nope, she came down my arm. Hello. There's an armrest on this. I forgot about that. So I can get a little closer.
Yeah. I see.
You are a bad kitty. Bad kitty.
Well, I should be getting another update tomorrow for Melvin 4.
Nice.
Yep.
That's exciting.
And I think I might have gotten a comic shop to consider ordering some copies of Melvin 1.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, getting them in the shops is the first step, and if you can start getting word of mouth, things fall into line, boom.
Something about I got an email. I think it might have been yesterday. I
Hey,
just
Eric, have a
responded
great
today.
night.
The
Bye,
person
Eric.
said, well, I'll show these to customers I think might be interested, and I'll look into the Amazon link. And I was like, cool, yeah. I'm waiting for that cat just to smack you in the face.
She won't. She's the perfect black cat. She just wants love. She might knock over my microphone, so I got to hold the base of it. And she definitely will knock over my soda. So at that point, I'm just going to grab her.
Now our dog would do that. You stare at her too long, she'll take your paw and kind of go across your face. Like, quit looking at me.
That's how Chewy wakes me up. She'll come up and start poking me in the face with her paws. It's not fun. She's not nice about it.
I know. She's not. She's not nice. But we live in a crazy, crazy, crazy household, and it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Diana said it tonight. It's like having kids again.
It is. 100%.
All right, you can get down now. Go play with your brothers.
Besides Cyclopean, are you already working on Cyclopean 8?
Yeah, I'm working on Cyclopian 8 and the Titans Ashcan. And really, oh my God, going through the old issues of the Cyclopean, I'm really tightening up the art because it's driving me crazy. Like when we do the big hardcover edition with all 12 issues,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thinking about touching up a lot of the old art. It's like,
Yeah.
Is it going to be called the Essential Cyclopean?
There you go.
no, I don't know what it will be called yet, but
I like that though.
well, it's got to be. I might not touch it at all because if I don't touch it at all, it's a chronological, build as I improve. But boy, when we go back and look, I'm like, oof. If I could do it all again, I would change this panel, that panel, that panel, this panel. You know what I mean? But live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed of any of it. It's just, I think I'll be doing that my whole entire life. Is whenever I draw something, I'll always want to go back and touch it up.
Mm. Oh.
Things improve and change, and I get new techniques, new perspectives. Like the biggest thing from 1 to 7 is the line weight. My line weights have come down tremendously in my inks. And to me, that stands out. Whereas when I was doing issue 1, I didn't mind the line weight. I thought it was good. Does that make sense to anybody? There's no artist in here. You guys might not know what I mean.
I know what you mean. The inks aren't as thick.
Right.
Yes. The lines themselves, the black. I use a much thinner tip now, and it takes a little longer, but it makes a better product.
Yeah. I always used I think this might be the line weight, but it was always 0.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I would call that thick. No, wait a minute, not for a pen. You mean a mechanical pen? That's not bad.
No, like a was it a V? It was a V-Tolt pen.
I love my favorite mechanical pencil is 0.5, and the pens I remember having a set that was like from 1 all the way down to like 0.1. And like the real thin ones were almost useless unless you were doing super fine detail. But like 7 through 10 were beautiful.
I used just a simple pencil. I didn't use a mechanical pencil.
When I was in art school, because I did it wasn't really art school, it was graphic arts. It was a trade school program. They had us do a pencil drawing. We took a 5x10 and zoomed it up to like 3 by something. And all the artists went out and bought these fancy pencil sets with the different, density of lead for different darknesses. And I went in there with a standard mechanical pencil, 0.5 ink or 0.5 width. And the instructor laughed at me and said I'd never be able to do it. It would be impossible. So of course, you know what happened. I did it to perfection. It was beautiful. And after that, he changed a lot of the syllabus. Like he took away mechanical pencils. One of the things he wanted us to do was take a 5x7 color photograph and move it up to the large size and make it black and white. But he didn't say color, so I used a black and white photo to start with, which made it easier. That changed the syllabus after that. He told people it had to be color after that.
Is that somebody's TV?
No, my mom's talking on the phone to my little brother.
I'm like, I could hear something. That's fine. It's not bothering me at all. But I'm looking. I'm like, do I have? Because I'm famous for having like a window open somewhere else, you know. But I gotta get going.
Pretty.
I know Chris wants to hang around.
Why don't we call the show, because we've been on for almost an hour and a half.
Okay.
And yeah, we're here 7 nights a week.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Tomorrow at 8, and I'll be cheerier. Tomorrow we'll do. Is tomorrow reaction night? Was that?
Yes, tomorrow is reaction night.
All right. So if you guys got any videos you want to share, send links to them. I got a few that I'm going to share that are fun.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to fall asleep too because I am tired. You know.
Me too.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Consider backing the Great Cyclopian number 7 at fundmycomic.com. The link is in the description. Check out Melvin. Tim's got Melvin selling
In Walmart, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble.
And Critical Blast, right?
Yep. Critical Blast.
Yeah.
And coming soon, Melvin 2 Special Edition.
Ooh. Yeah. So check everything out. You know, have a great night. If you need us, you know how to get a hold of us. If you don't know how to get a hold of us, HeroShack.com is the quickest way. All right, let's see. So I'm going to add this to the stage, but I'm going to find. Let's see. I should take it right to say. You know, I'm going to have to start making outros just to do this more accurately.
I think you should.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
All right.
So,
good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for coming. Good night, Tim. We'll see you soon.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.